Hello, Vinyl Community. This is Rich. Sweating it out a bit in early May out here in southern Pennsylvania. It's unseasonably warm and I am unreasonably old. So, not a great combo. Anywho, I am a couple of days late on making my April vinyl pickups video. I apologize for that. I'm sure some of you were really waiting and biting nails on it, but I appreciate you for being here now, and it's a decent stack to go through considering that already this month, end of last month, I had the record haul from Paris that I made a couple of videos for, and my record store day stack, which wasn't inconsiderable. I mean, it was pretty good. So the rest of that month, let's see what April did for me. First up is the new, I believe, clear variant for Willie Carlisle's new album Critterland, which I loved, and because I like to support my favorite artists that get the direct money from my purchase, I'll buy most of his variants and anything else because I do love the music that he makes. And if you haven't heard yet, this album and his previous one, Peculiar Missouri, are pretty damn good if you like country music. It's worth a try. Actually, I think to call it a country album might be doing him and it a disservice because it encompasses a lot more than country. So if you get the chance, just give it a listen. And here's another one I would buy just to support the label anyway, but it also has live versions of songs from my favorite artists. This is Live on the Mountain Stage, Outlaws and Outliers, the 40-year anniversary of incredible artists playing live. And this is released from Oh Boy Records, John Prine's label. All things worthy of our support, but there are great live versions here. Maybe the first live on vinyl that I've seen for Tyler Childers. Gillian Welch and Dave Rawlings are on here. Wilco is on here. Rhiannon Giddens is on here. Jason Isbell is on here. I believe your mom might even be on here if you look really hard. Either way, I ordered two, again, because you got to support when you can. It's a double album. Pretty heavyweight even for a double. I think they might be 140 gram. But it's incredible. Live, real, to me, country music. And if you're into that sort of thing, go to Old Boy Records and support. Now this one I may very well have to include the unboxing itself because it has one of those fucking pull strips on it that you'll see on record mailers, you know, for the last few years. And almost 100% of the time, I can't open the thing in one fell swoop, just pulling it. It's always tab, 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 fucking tab, fucking tab. And it takes a good few minutes. And I'll even take a knife to it, maybe a blowtorch. Regardless, as frustrating as it can be, it was the Interscope Record Club mailer, which this year has this classic, Downward Spiral from Nine Inch Nails, one of my absolute favorite albums of all time. Really takes you back to a time and place kind of album for me. Actually, it was an interesting year. I was a very young man back then. But although I don't really get too hyped about what the Interscope Record Club is releasing, maybe about 30% of the time thus far, I actually give a shit. And I did get the Dre and Snoop Chronic they released. That was pretty cool because it's the Chronic. And I skipped a couple more, but I could not miss this one. And you can only get one, otherwise I might have got two. But this is worth it. And because I forgot to cancel in time, they're sending me next month's record, which is some Eminem record. And I'm not going to get into how I feel about Eminem, but you could not think of many rap records I want less than an Eminem record. Nothing personal. If it's your jam, then go with it. But I was never feeling it. Can't wait to bust this one open. And next up is one you've probably seen a few times before. I haven't shown my entire collection of this dude yet, but I think I've spoken of my quest for the perfect copy or of certain pressings that I'm really out to get. And Japanese pressing, I'm looking for you. This is So from Peter Gabriel. Even reasonable minds can agree to disagree, but I think this is one of the greatest records ever made in songs and production. I'm such a fan, I probably can't see the forest for the trees with Peter Gabriel. But this seems to be universally acclaimed for the classic that it is. And one of the few ones I have with the hype stickers intact. So I'm kind of stoked. I'll take one of these and every format and everything. Just give it to me. Or, I'll pay a reasonable amount. This one ran about 10 to 12 bucks, which to me in VG Plus has been kind of a bargain. So as long as they stay that cheap, I'll fill a fucking shelf with them. I have no shame. Continuing on is one of my favorite sites in the record shop when I was a kid. This is right up there with the black or even the maroon Def Jam logo on a 12-inch single when you walked in. You knew it was going to be pretty dope, or have a chance to be. And Profile especially, that's where you had to go for your Run DMC singles. And this is Together Forever. Can You Rock It Like This? And now I think this leaves me with only one or two 12-inch records from the Run DMC discography that I'm missing. And I cannot overstate the importance of Run DMC in getting myself into hip-hop music in about 1983, which means I should probably also leave it out because there's a vinyl tag of people the last few weeks making videos about the records they listened to when they were 12 or 13. And in 1983, I was 12 years old. Yeah, that's pretty sad. Anywho, almost done with the 12-inch single discography of the great Run DMC. Gotta love it. Up next is the 3 records from Vinyl Me Please this month that I got, and I'm happy to get, and whose service I still very much enjoy. Some months aren't as good as the others, but it's not me picking them. I can just refuse it and add that to credit and add it up and get something else in the months to come. Regardless. First one up, Odetta and the Blues. This is the second Odetta record I have, but I have not heard this one. I am familiar with her, of course, and I'm looking forward to this. I have reason to believe this will sound great. And because sometimes there aren't great new records at Vinyl Me Please that month, I'll order a second copy of something just so I can have a player and keep one sealed. I know I'm weird like that. But Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble. Look at that. Couldn't stand the weather. What are you going to do? I have a couple of these. It's Stevie Ray Vaughan, and it sounds great. And lastly, for Vinyl Me Please, on the country track they released this month is someone I'm not familiar with at all. It goes back to 80s, 90s, whatever country that was just not what I was feeling for sure. Maybe it's 90s. Fuck, I don't know. But I had read about the artist and a lot of places and people that seem to know the kind of music I enjoy. Thought I might give this a try. Haircut notwithstanding, Keith Whitley, Don't Close Your Eyes. Still haven't listened to it, but I think I've read enough that I'm going to give it a chance. I don't think I'll ever get on that 1980s, 1990s country music as popular music train because so much of it sounds like dog shit. But this seems to have a sincere fan base, and I'm willing to give it a try. Another 12-inch single from the golden era of hip-hop. This is Houdini with Friends and 5 Minutes of Funk. That might be one of the most classic A-sides in 12-inch history as far as I'm concerned. I believe it's another 1984, 1985 release when I was, again, quite young, and will fit in nicely if I do make that 12 to 13-year-old Rich, whatever he listened to video coming up. But solid Larry Smith production on this, and the height of Houdini, as far as I'm concerned, was that self-titled record. After that, it was kind of diminishing returns. But the impact is there, and anybody who knows real hip-hop will understand. This one here, I ordered, I think, almost exactly a year ago, within a week or two. And I ordered it with another album that I'll show next from the same place. And I did know at the time that they were only going to ship when they have complete shipments, which I get, the ecology. But the other album was already out. They could have shipped that bitch to me in a week, and I was kind of really excited for it because it's, I'll show you. I'll get to that in a second. This one I was solid excited for too, but had delay after delay. There was problems. But it's the Archer, was it 7 through 9? Seasons 7 through 9 soundtrack. Don't ask me where seasons 1 through 6 are because they don't appear to be on vinyl. Hopefully they're kind of working backwards. But it's Archer. It's classic. It's perfect. And I'm glad to have it. I love that show. It is sadly missed. And here's the other record I ordered from that spot that got Archer from. It's called ion8bit.com, and they release primarily video game soundtracks. And this is one I had waited for a long time. It might have been my favorite game of last year. So much fun. I was not anticipating it being as good as it turned out to be. I mean, you're going to get me. You had me a cat as the protagonist. Like, I would have bought that if it was a fucking Atari 2600 game. But it wasn't. It was sort of my PS5, and it looked beautiful, played incredible, had a lot of emotion, and the music was really good. But you can see it's got spot varnish on the cover. It's really dope. It's in a solid slipcase. I haven't played it yet because I only have this one. I get nervous around having one of any of these things that I really love because invariably I will do something to fuck it up or catch it close to messing something up and thinking, damn, I wish I had a kind of a safety copy for my old man hands kind of thing. But beautiful music, and if you haven't played the game and you're into video games, I mean, as long as you're not stuck in a run and gun, looter shooter kind of tunnel with your video gaming, Stray was a lot of fun. So give yourself a chance, and people who are non-video game players really even enjoy this. So it's worth a shot, and the music's really great as well. And possibly I had made the point in my last video about Record Store Day how Electrofiction continues to elude me even after all the day after sales and week after sales that I've been checking. And that one and Peter Murphy, and I just found out that they released a Sublime 7-inch that I had no idea about. If it was on the list, some blind spot for me because I have no idea how I can miss Sublime. They're one of my favorite bands from way, way back. But one I did find in order later on that I could not find on that day was Beyond the Sun, the Chris Isaak record of beautiful sun covers. Just song catalog suited to artist could not possibly be better chosen than this one. And I haven't opened it yet. I have heard the CD for quite a while now, and digitally. But I was really looking forward to this one. And this is one even Mrs. Embarrassment of Riches would like to listen to. So it might actually get played in this house a bit. And I ordered this one from Spin Me Round Records in Easton, Pennsylvania. I've never been there, but I do watch their Instagram channel. And if anybody involved is watching this at all, I love your enthusiasm. And it's really neat to see people excited about owning and running a record store, because you can go into them and there's just a lot of miserable fucking old crusty dudes. And, I add one when I walk in the fucking door. But, try to make it a better atmosphere. Like, their place is well lit. Everybody seems excited about it. They have top-notch representation of female artists in their vinyl, which try seeing that in a lot of places. So thank you, Spin Me Around. I'll be ordering from you again, and definitely love your IG channel. We are approaching the end here pretty soon. I only have a couple left, and thank you for hanging around. This is my second copy of this B-52 self-titled, and there's not much to say other than I really needed a better copy than the one I had. But really, there's a moon in the sky called The Moon, Rock Lobster, Planet Claire. I really think the B-52's first 3 albums are a hell of a trilogy, really good. And everything they've done has been exceptional because it's them. They're not really trying to imitate anybody or follow any particular fad. And I really enjoy this one. I'm glad to have it in a much better condition than the previous one. Continuing with the theme of records that I have previously shown and previously purchased in my quest for the best possible copy that I can find, classic Sonic Temple from the Cult. They just 2 records and 2 super producers with love previous to this, with Rick Rubin and this one with the great Bob Rock. Solid top to bottom, and quite a jump in quality from the copy I've had for 20 plus years now. So I'm pretty stoked because this one was mixed perfectly. If you have a copy of this, the original, I can't speak to anything recent, any of the represses, but the original packs a punch, and sounds every bit as good as it did 30 years ago, 35 years ago. a rare new record sighting from me, and this is all due to the fact that I bought the Lemon Twigs Everything Harmony record last year and absolutely loved it. Absolutely. Brilliant record. I haven't heard anything off of this, but I bought it on the strength of their name alone and the fact that they made something new. I hope it's as good. This is a limited edition, blah, 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 whatever. But I plan on definitely playing this one and enjoying it. They've got a sound, at least a different sound from a lot of what you hear nowadays. So, yeah, this is definitely worth my money. And to finish up, there's a couple that I picked up at my local Goodwill a few weeks ago that mainly relied on tugging on my heartstrings, and I'll pay $2 for these any day of the week, as long as there's a bit of playability. One is more playable than the others, and I'll save that one for last. But Sesame Street, play along songs. I think anybody like myself, I was born in 71, so anybody in the late 60s, early 70s has a connection to early Sesame Street that is nearly impossible to sever. I learned to read along with them and learned how to even speak and interact with people. So, yeah, okay, I'll buy them. And Sesame Street Monsters, a musical monstrosity. Just your normal Sesame Street awesomeness. And lastly, the most playable of the bunch, thankfully, because it is one of my favorite songs from Sesame Street, is C is for Cookie. That song haunts me in my sleep. I love it. I love Cookie Monster. Sesame Street is brilliant. I don't even know if anything on here, the rest of it is stuff I know really well. Monsters 3 Wishes, Birthday Cookie. Yeah, so there's a few I'm going to find out about on this one. I'm glad to have it. So, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you all soon making another video. I got a few in the works, and there's a couple of life things going on as well that have the potential to get in the way, so I might be a week or two late with anything new. But that's how it goes. See you later. Hello, Vinyl Community. This is Rich at Embarrassment of Riches, sweating it out on a warm, sultry, early May? Yeah, fuck. Anywho, almost done with the 12-inch Discogs. And I think I had made a point. I guess I didn't.